You're the journalist, aren't you? I gave him your letter the other day. The professor's probably read it. He received another letter this morning. I put it in his mailbox. It was a letter from the museum. Letters from the museum. They always mean trouble. Hey, maybe you could take it to him. He has trouble moving around, you know. He's an old man. You know what I mean. You want my advice? He should see a doctor. Well, that's what I think anyway. Oh, and have a care. It looks like something fell from your bag over there. Well, then have a nice day.
My friend, this old fool is overjoyed that your editor has finally decided to send you to interview me in person. As pleasant as it has been, our recent correspondence will not allow me to discuss certain subjects as freely as I would like. The subject of your special issue, the Amerzone. You must be aware that it hits very close to home for me. That mysterious land is both the source of my greatest joys and my deepest disgrace. As my old friends at the museum probably told you. But no matter what they say, I know what really happened over there in the 30s, when my companions and I ventured into the unknown wilds. My friends and I, we caused harm. Harm that I am determined to heal today. But I need your help. Not only to finally bring my version of what happened to light, but perhaps to do even more. Time is running out. So, safe travels, my friend. I am quite pleased to welcome you to my humble abode. Signed, Professor Alexandre Valembois. You are the journalist, aren't you? Come. Amerzone. Amerzone. Too late for me. Too late. It's all over for me. I'm no longer in good health, my friend. It's a pity, but what can I do? In any case, Amerzone, all that. No one ever believed me. So, After all those years, the egg, the egg, the egg is still alive. Alive. Yes. I had planned to take it back over there to Amerzone. My expedition was ready. And all planned out to the smallest detail. And now, I have no strength left. You must go for me. You must go. Take the egg back. Take the egg of the white birds back to Amerzone. I beg you, please. You will find everything you need right here in the lighthouse. You must go to the basement. Please. You must help. For her. My dear friend, I am an old man in the twilight of his years. I know now that I will never have the strength to set off again to the Amerzone. My only remaining hope resides in convincing you to go in my stead, to make amends for the wrong I have done to that country over 50 years ago. It was in 1929. The university where I was finishing my studies in natural sciences that I first heard of the Amerzone. I befriended a young law student from that country. His name was Antonio Alvarez, and he was later to become the despotic leader that we now know today. He suggested going with me as my guide and interpreter until we got to the last steps of civilization in his country. A second companion was to join me. The Reverend Father David Makowski, who was burning with desire to perform mission work among the inhabitants of those regions forgotten by the Creator. We set off, therefore, one morning in June 1932 on board the Hydrafloat, a revolutionary invention of mine. Unfortunately, this first prototype had several imperfections. The mechanics of the craft failed us on the way, near Shipwreck Island. A large number of sperm whales had settled there. I feared that we might have hit one of them. It was only by a miracle that we set foot on the shores of the Amazon. But already, my friend, I realize that I am only at the beginning of this tragic story. If you want to find out about what follows, it will be waiting for you in the basement. Your next destination, should you decide to replace me for this new journey. My dear friend, it's nice to see you again through these few pages. The previous ones ended with my arrival in Amerzone with my comrades, Alvarez and Makowski, in 1932. For some weeks, all three of us traveled to Puebla, a fort village upstream of the river Amazon Delta. It was there, in the mouth of an old drunken and erudite Indian, that I first heard of the great white birds. The white birds are dependent on the imposing volcano that rises above the Amazonian jungle. They are majestic skyships of sorts. They glide interminably, taking advantage of the thermals created by the heat from the craters. Every 3 years, one of the females of the colony abandons a single egg that will, all by itself, contain the entire next generation of white birds. But the embryos contained in the egg are subject, it seems, to a brutal alteration in their chromosomes due to the toxic gases that escape the volcano. Left to its own devices, the egg would hatch nasty little black birds with a precarious existence. It is at this point that the intervention of the Valembois, an indigenous tribe descending from a very ancient and famous civilization of white bird worshippers, takes place. Ignoring the warnings of my companions, I set off towards the unknown, with the old Indian as my guide. After a month of traveling, I reached the Amazon Falls. Then, out of the blue, my guide had left me. I was starving and had no more strength, totally weakened by a vicious tropical disease. I owe my life to the hospitality of the native tribe living near the bottom of the falls. A young Indian girl patiently lavished on me the care that was necessary for my recovery. To tell the truth, we never left each other after that. Her name was Yekomani. I loved her, and she loved me. And the months that followed were the most beautiful of my long life. But here we are, already approaching the sinister conclusion of this tale, my friend. There is still time for you to turn back. But if you decide not to, the end of my story is waiting where yours will begin. have decided to push your curiosity to the limit. I will never be able to thank you enough. And so it is without further ado that I will tell you the conclusion of my history. I ended the last part of my storytelling with the moments of happiness that I shared together with my one true love, Yakuman. The most beautiful weeks of my existence. Yet a strange event would put an end to the sweet bliss in which we were plunged. One morning, Yakumani signaled to me to watch what was happening through the branch walls of our hut. The fever of my illness, compounded with that of love, had eclipsed my faculties of scientific observation. But then and there, I suddenly came to myself. What I had just seen in the hands of the priest was the egg of the white birds. I wanted that egg more than anything else in the world. To take it back to Europe. Taste the glory of recognition from the worldwide scientific community. At dawn, I set off, never to see her again. I stole their only egg and took it back to Europe. I have put in danger the very existence of a truly exceptional living species. And I betrayed the trust of a young Indian girl who, I now know, was the only love of my life. At the museum, no one believed my stories about the white birds. I became the laughingstock of the scientific community, and my career was irreparably broken. It has been 10 years now since the museum returned the egg of the white birds to me. It miraculously remained intact, not having suffered from the ravages of time. The egg was alive. Since that day, I have only had one thing on my mind: make right the wrong I have done, and take the egg back over there to the Amerzone. In the meantime, I have put it in a safe place. Today, everything is in place. I have developed a new Hydrafloat that is specially designed for an expedition into the heart of the Amazon. I have carried out all the necessary checks and calculations and corrected all the imperfections. But, as I have already told you, I am now an old man. And I no longer have the strength to undertake such a journey. So it is up to you. You who seem to be interested. It is you that I'm asking to take my place. Go back to the Amazon and take back the egg. I beg you. Good luck, and may God protect you, my friend, Alexandre Valembois.
Hello, you're listening to Radio Longrevin, your favorite local station. And up next, regional news, with important information for you birders on the peninsula. Today, migrations begin for the famous Amazone geese, an emblematic animal of our coastline. The geese should start their departure in the coming hours, off to their vacation homes, so to speak, nestled far away in the jungles of South America. But they'll be back with us next summer. It's a Breton tradition that their migration is a good omen. So let's rejoice and wish them a good flight. Moving on to schools now. Let us salute the students of the primary school of Tourville who took the initiative in recent weeks to...
Bravo 1. I've got eyes on a UFO over Longrevin. Hard to see what it might be with all these geese. Request permission to approach with the shuttle. Over.
Bravo 1 copy that. We'll relay to Alpha 1 and circle back as soon as possible.